Coach Bozzella and his staff just signed a giant recruit to this class of 2026. We're going to dive deep into Inieye Oruh, only on Pirate Vibes. Let's vibe. Pirate Nations, welcome back to Pirate Vibes on the Big East Energy Network. We are brought to you by Asabasa Spice. Go to asabasaspice.com. Use the promo code BIGENERGY15 for 15% off your first order. You will not be disappointed. So every so often, as you see, Patrick, my normal co-host, is not here. We're going to dive deep into the women's team. We plan to have a women's show every single week here on the Big East Energy Network because we want to bring light to what is building underneath Tony Bozzella. And this week we got a giant news for the women's team. Inieye Oruh committed to South Orange. This is big news, right? She's 6'4". She's a force in the paint. She's ranked inside ESPN's next 100 for the class of 2026. So she still has to go through her senior year. And she's reportedly made her decision, announced it on her Instagram, that she is coming to New Jersey. We're going to talk about who she is, what she does well, how she impacts the game, and why I think she's a good fit for Tony Bozzella and maybe the missing piece for this young squad. So buckle up. Here we go. We're going to set sail on this scouting report. If you follow high school girls basketball out west, I know a lot of our fans are in the New Jersey area. But if you follow high school basketball on a national level for the women, girls, Centennial High School is a perennial powerhouse in Las Vegas. If you go on Max Preps, the way too early 2026 rankings right after the state championships last year were out, Centennial was in the top 15. And that was off of a state championship at 5A, I believe, in Nevada. This is a school that produces multiple state championships, produces Division I talent year after year after year, and have a reputation of being a school that preps girls for the next level and has strong ties to the Las Vegas Aces. And that's where Oruh has been sharpening her game. Playing for a program like Centennial means that you don't just show up and roll the ball out. You know, I live in South Jordan, where you have a 5A school, which is second highest classification in the state of Georgia. And girls basketball, a couple of years ago, they had 5 girls on the JV team. Not at Centennial. Centennial is a place that girls are demanding transferring, however they're getting to the high school to play basketball, because that is a program that builds girls into women on and off the basketball court. You have to battle against high-level teammates in your practice, day in, day out. You have to be ready for national showcases and high-pressure playoff games. Centennial is one of those programs that you want to get a girl from. So before we ever get into numbers and looking at her numbers and dissecting it, remember the context matters. She's been competing in an environment where the standard is high and winning is expected. You're adding that to a Tony Bozzella program that's been sitting on the bubble the last couple of years. Now let's get to the production. According to Max Preps, in the most recent season, she averaged 7 points a game, 5 rebounds, a block, a little bit over a block shot per game, and chipped in a steal here and there. On paper, you might go, man, that does not look good. But context is everything. Centennial spreads the ball out. They're really deep. Their rotations are extremely deep. Their leading player was Nation Williams, who was a sophomore last year. So she's producing that in a balanced offense where 4 or 5 different girls can come out to play and score points and dominate the game. But if you look at her efficiency, she's not jacking up every shot. She's not taking bad shots. She's taking high percentage looks. 6'4". Obviously, she's got a size advantage in most matchups. She finishes around the rim and consistently is a threat for putbacks. But if you look at her tape and you look at the scouting reports that are out there, she's got kind of a mid-range too. So she's not – she may be 6'4", may be more the post player in the Big East, and especially on Seton Hall. She can step out a little bit. And then when it's playoff time, if you look at her numbers, in the state quarterfinals last year, she dropped 15 points. She controlled the boards and anchored the paint on defense. Against Democracy Prep, one of the best programs, another great program in that state. She had 7 points, 8 rebounds, and if you watch the actual film, and I watched a little bit of the highlights, they're not coming inside. They're relying on their shooting because she's a force inside. Those are the kind of games where the lights are bright and she shows up. So the stats are nice, but the eye test, that's where she pops. First thing you notice, her frame and mobility. At 6'4", she has legit length. You can't hide it. In the women's game, 6'4" is great size. And she's got a strong build. She's not a stiff. She moves her feet well. She can slide on the perimeter if she gets switched onto a guard. And she recovers very well if she gets pulled away from the rim. Defensively, she's a difference maker. That's where she's going to stand out the most. She's a shot blocker, a shot alterer. She times her contests so well for her age. She's a young senior. She keeps her hands vertical, forces her opponents to change their shots. It's something that Bozzella has been missing for the most part. I know Coach Bozzella, if he probably watches this, he might tell me a little bit different, but like this is just different if you just watch it on the tape. Because it's discipline plus the athleticism at a young age, like a very young age. In rebounding, she does have that I want the ball more than you mentality. She doesn't wait for the ball to come to her. She will box out. On the offensive glass, she's relentless. A lot of her highlights are putbacks or grab and put right back if you scour the internet. She'll go grab a board, go right back up, and either will score or get fouled. She like I said, she does have somewhat of a mid-range game. If you're watching Overtime Select, she is on the All-Nighters, which right now is the high-powered team with the number 1 recruits in the country. She hasn't played a lot. I believe she has six points and 4 rebounds right now in 2 games combined. But the team is very guard and forward heavy. They like to spread you out, go 5 out, and all that. That's not her game, and that's okay. That's just not her game. So she's not fitting in perfectly with the all-nighters. But when she does get in, you notice her. You notice her because she's 6'4", and that is Overtime Select is all the top, a lot of the top girls in the class of 2026, 25, 27, 28, and 29. I don't believe there's 29, but I believe there is a 28. So she's going to get better. She is competing at Centennial. She's completing at Overtime. She's on Team NorCal, right? She is all over the place. She is competing from head to toe, and she committed to Seton Hall. But when I come back, we will talk about the fit with Tony Bozzella's squad. And if she is the kind of recruit that could take this program to the next step, right here on Pirate Vibes. Welcome back to Pirate Vibes on the Big East Energy Network. Like I said, we are going to do women's focused podcasts every so often as the season gears up. I'm going to have a ton of women's Pirate basketball content here on the Big East Energy Network. If you haven't checked out the Big East Energy Network and it's your first time here, we've got Creighton, we've got Butler in the works, we've got Georgetown, we've got Georgetown show is brand new. We got obviously Holy Nova down there with Matt, and Mark obviously is doing the UConn. We got a lot planned for this basketball season. You got to go check it out. Subscribe, search on all the social media, Big East Energy Network. And believe me, you won't be disappointed because you love this conference, and so do we. And we are going to get as much content out possible so you can absorb this conference a little bit more. I'm your Seton Hall host, Brian Webster. So let's talk about the fit with Inieye Oruh. The name is going to be a little tricky until you start hearing a little bit more. The one thing I did learn about women's basketball out there, it's a lot of print instead of highlight tapes. You might not see a ton, especially in the West Coast girls. I started to look into it, and like if they aren't the top 5 recruit and they're west of, let's say, New Mexico, the verbal part of their names sometimes gets lost in the mail. I don't know what it is. So Inieye Oruh, right? We all know Bozzella squads have always been gritty, tough, and fast-paced. They've been guard heavy, right? Right now you've got Savannah and Jada back there. But one area where the Pirates have always struggled against the elite Big East teams, especially like the UConns and now Creighton, has been the size inside. Against UConn last year, they often had to double the post with Sarah Strong, which left them vulnerable for open shots from Paige and AZ and the myriad of shooters that Gino has in stores. Against Creighton, they had to rely on quick rotation instead of just winning one-on-one post bounce. Oruh changes that dynamic. I know we have to wait another year for it, but you put her name in the middle of that defense, and when she comes in, now you got Jada. Jada's a junior at that point, right? You got this deep class. Tony Bozzella came on our show and described how deep the class that's coming in this year is. You put her in the middle of that defense, and now you can guard more straight up. You can take more risk on the perimeter because you know you've got a rim protector. And that's something that Bozzella's teams have missed quite a bit. Offensively, she's perfect for the guards too. The guards that traditionally Bozzella has had. She runs the floor well, so if the Pirates have to push in transition, she's going right there. In the half court, she can be a reliable target on the block. She can be the drop-off or Jada gets inside, drops it off. Easy layup, right? And remember, she knows how to win. Right? Bozzella came on our show and said, we got to go there, and we're playing NC State, and we're playing Princeton, and we're playing San Francisco, and he listed Auburn, and I can't recall the entire schedule right off the top of my head right now, but it was a competitive schedule all the way through, right? You're bringing a player that wins, that has won at a high level in Nevada, where the standard is to win. And she brings that kind of mentality to Seton Hall. You can't teach that competitive edge and the winning standards instantly for all freshmen. So for her to come into the program and already have that mentality, why not? Right now, if you're following the overtime select, her team is the best looking team so far. This weekend, I believe it's this weekend coming up. I'm filming this on the 12th of August. They are the winning team right now. They're the best looking team. So let's look at big picture. Here's the big takeaway. Seton Hall is getting a player who impacts the game without having the ball in her hands 20 times a night. Think about, especially the Bozzella era. It's been very guard heavy. Even Faith last year, right? She had to have the ball in her hand. Oruh's going to defend, rebound, run the floor, finish plays. She's 6'4". She's athletic. She's going to make everyone around her better because she does the things that don't show up in the box score. You only have one ball, right? There's 5 girls on the court, 5 women on the court. You only have 1 ball. 1 person can shoot. The other 4 has got to be doing something positive. And if you have a player that has a winning mentality and is able to do those things that makes the game turn to your favor, then it's a home run. And the part that I love the most, and everything you read about her when she was at 16U and when she was at 17U, is that she's young. She's young. She's young. And like me being a travel basketball coach, I'm like, young? Like, what do you mean young? She's not at the beginning of her class in terms of age. So she's I believe like 10 months behind her class. I could be wrong. But everything you see is that she is young. So that means her ceiling's high. She's good now, but wait until she gets that strength, right? Wait until that skill development kicks all the way in. She could be an all Big East caliber type player by her junior year, if not sooner. She's the kind of player who gets you to March, helps you get to March. But then when you get to March with her win mentality and doing the little things, she could be the one that can help you lead to success in March. So Bozzella gets that elusive NCAA tournament win. This is a home run, and people are not making a big enough deal that Coach Bozzella is building a monster quietly in the Big East. We all know UConn's there, right? Creighton's been solid for a while. But Creighton's got to prove something this year. What's to say that Bozzella's not building so he gets that number 2 and number 3 slot behind UConn? Maybe catch UConn eventually one day sleeping. Right? What's to say that this program is not taking that step forward? And that's why you get an Oruh, a Centennial High School out of Nevada, standout, top 100 recruit, soon to be Seton Hall Pirate. Remember the name, Inieye Oruh. And if I mispronounce it, remember the corrected name. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a comment below. If there's something else that Coach Bozzella that you might want to suggest to Coach Bozzella on who to recruit, or content you want to see about the Seton Hall women's basketball team, please let me know on Twitter, Pirate Vibes 89. You can leave a comment here below on this video, right here on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get it. Big East Energy Network, the home of Big East basketball. Until next time, I'm Brian with Pirate Vibes, and as always, stay true, stay blue, and vibe on.
Ahoy there!